Okay, guys, this is practicing stuff on the unit circle. This first question says sine of theta is negative square root of 3 over 2. So it's asking you, where's your y value, negative square root of 3 over 2? What you should get from this is, and I'm going to go back and review some things on the unit circle, is you're either a half square root of 3 over 2 or square root of 3 over 2 a half. And the decimal equivalent for the square root of 3 over 2 is about 0.9. So that coordinate is about 0.9, and you know that's 0.5. So in this one, you're farther over than you're up. Now to practice some of that on here, when you're at 30 degrees, you're farther over than you're up. So that coordinate is square root of 3 over 2 a half. Say for this one right here, you're farther down than you are over. Okay, so that coordinate would be negative a half, negative square root of 3 over 2. The point being that because I got a square root of 3 in it, you're either a combination of that or this one. Those are the only two places a square root of 3 over 2 is going to show up. It's not anything to do with 45s. You're either at a 30 or you're at a 60. Okay? Those are the two locations that you could be at. And I'm trying to have you guys reference that if it's the y value that's the bigger number, that means you're not farther over and up. Because the y is this number, you have to be farther up than you're over. Now the number is negative. Where your y value is negative, you're negative below this horizontal axis. So you have to be here or here because you're farther down than you're over. Okay? So I'm not looking for the, okay, strictly by what I wrote, I'm not looking for the angles, but I like to push you guys to practice them, and let's practice them in radians. That's going to be 4 pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. All right, this next one, cosine is negative 1. It's saying, where's your x value? Negative 1. Your x value, the only place it's going to happen is there, so at pi. Tangent square root of 3. Okay, it's got a square root of 3 in it, so just like I did on the first one, you're either this or you're this. Which one is it? I don't have a clue, so you just try it. Put your y over your x, because that's the definition of tangent. So if I do this one first, only because I wrote it first, you're dividing by a half, so it's the same as multiplying by 2. It cancels out, and you get the square root of 3. So they're multiples of this, and this one, you're not as far over as you are up. The y value is bigger than the x, so the y value is bigger than the x right here. So the first angle would be pi over 3. Now, go back to this fraction. Wouldn't this give you exactly the same answer if they're both negative? So it happens diagonally. Tangent happens diagonally. Okay? Meaning that they're the same. That's what I'm trying to stammer out here. Okay? They would just be both negative, so it still turns out to be the positive square root of 3. Tangent happens diagonally. Now, go back up to this one. Where are your y values the same? They're the same horizontally because they're both the same distance down. Okay? Sine are your y's. The y's are the same distance down horizontally. Think about a horizontal line. Y is equal to 2. Everything horizontally there is the same. Your y's are the same horizontally. Secant is 2. I have no clue what that is, but I know it's cousins to cosine. Cosine is a half, and it's a positive a half. It's saying, where's your x a positive a half? Your x's are positive on this side of the vertical axis. Where is it a half? It's here and here. Because if you have a half, it's either this coordinate or this coordinate. And I know it's obvious that I'm saying x has to be a half, so it can't be that one, but I want you to think about it. This one, you're farther over than you're up. This one, you're not as far over as you are up. So it's this. Well, for two reasons. One, x is a half, but I'm just trying to say it can't be that one. It can't be here, because that one you're farther over than you are up. Okay? So this angle and this angle, so that would be 5 pi over 3 and pi over 3. And notice x's are the same vertically. Just like a vertical line, x is equal to 7. That would be a vertical line at 7. X's are the same vertically of each other. Okay, cosecant is negative square root of 2. Okay, cosecant's related to sine. Sine of theta, so that would be this. And you rationalize it, and you get negative square root of 2 over 2. Where is your y value? Negative square root of 2 over 2. Well, first, the y's are negative down here. They're square root of 2's, so they have to be 45's. So that's going to be, what, 5 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. Cotangent negative 1. Okay, you can either leave it as cotangent or turn it into tangent. It really doesn't matter. How do you get a fraction? Well, let's not use random letters. It's y over x for tangent. How do you get a fraction, first off, to be 1? Well, they have to be the same number top and bottom. Where do those happen? They happen at the 45's, where your coordinates are the same. Okay, yes, I'm ignoring the signs, but run with me here for a second. So square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. The top is the same as the bottom, so it's worth 1. All right, now throw the thing in where it's negative. How do you make a fraction negative? Either the top is negative or the bottom is negative, but not both. Because if they're both negative, then the thing turns into positive. So to get it to be negative 1, one has to be positive, one of them has to be negative. Where does that happen? Here and here. Again, notice the tangent is the same diagonally. That angle would be 3 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. Cotangent, negative square root of 3 over 3. You can either leave it as cotangent or cash in for tangent. I guess I'm just going to leave it like this. Because it's got a square root of 3 in it, only square roots of 3 are going to be multiples of 30 or 60. So you either have this coordinate or this coordinate. Whoa. Okay, how about this? Is that a little better? Whew. You're either this one or you're this one, because those are the only ones that have square root of 3 over 2 in it. I'll just do this one first and see if it works. It's your x over your y, because it's cotangent. So that's times, it's not much of a times, 2 over the square root of 3. That cancels out, and you get 1 over the square root of 3. And if you rationalize it, that's what you get. Now, it's showing up negative. So just like in the previous one of them is negative, but not both of them. Where does that happen? It happens here, and it happens here. Again, diagonally from each other. Okay? Whoops. No, it doesn't. Hi, caramba. I chose the wrong ones. Yikes. Sorry. Okay. Right quadrants, but wrong ones. It's this one that I did first. So this one isn't the one I tried. You're not as far over as you're up. So there's 60s is the 4 that you're looking at, not 30s. Like I did the first one. Now it's showing up negative, so that means you're here or here. So that would be 2 pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. Okay. Where's your y? Negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay, y values are negative down. So you're here and here. It's got a square root of 2 in it. It's got to be a 45. So the two angles would be, what's it, 5 pi over 4. Sorry, it came out like a 9, and 7 pi over 4. All right. I don't want to be misquoted, so there we go. Okay, cosecant, I don't have a clue. I know it's got a square root of 2, so it's got to be a 45, but cosecant is the same as sine. And when you rationalize it, that's what you get. Where your y value is positive, they're positive above that axis, so here and here. Notice again that they're the y values in both of these, and the y's are the same horizontally. So this one's 3 pi over 4, and this one's pi over 4. All right, secant is your y value. Y is equal to, so that would be negative 3 over 2 square roots of 3, and when you unrationalize it, or just rationalize it again, you're going to get negative square root of 3 over 2. Where's your y value of that? Well, it's either a positive a half or a negative a half that's going to be in the front. You're going to be farther down than you are over. Your y values are negative down here. You're going to be farther down than you're over, so it's these two. If you chose this one, you would be farther over than you're down, which isn't what's happening. Okay, so these two places, this is going to be 4 pi over 3, 5 pi over 3. Tangent, undefined. Tangent is your y over your x. The only way you make a fraction undefined is if you're dividing by 0. Where is your x value? 0, here, and here. So pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. Cosine is a half. Okay, so it's going to be one of these two places. You're not as far over as you are up or down. So, again, that's going to be a 60. Your x values are positive on this side of the axis. So, pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. Okay? I'll do this first one for you guys. This is actually what your homework's going to be, is this sheet. I'll do this first one for you. Now, tangent, the first thing that I would recommend that you guys do is find your x, your y, and your radius. And you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to do it. Tangent is negative 15 over 8. Okay, tangent is your y over your x. Let's do it down here, y over x. And you're told that's negative 15 over 8. So initially, you guys could go negative 15 over 8 or 15 over negative 8. Then you use this second piece of information here. Sine is less than 0. Sine is your y value, so it's saying your y is less than 0. So your y value is negative. So that means you choose this one, not this one. So your y is negative 15, and your x value is positive 8. Doing the Pythagorean theorem, so 8 squared plus negative 15 squared, and then you're going to square root the sucker. You think I would have done that ahead of time, and I didn't. Sorry to hold you up. So 64 plus 15. Yeeks, I can't type because I'm trying to rush. We get 289. Let's hope we get lucky. Square root it. Woohoo! 17. So that equals 17. So that means that your radius is 17. Okay? So, coming back over here. Sine, if you're not on the unit circle, because you're not, because your radius is 17, excuse me, is y over your radius. Cosecant is going to be the reciprocal, 17 over 15. Oops, the y is negative. I apologize. I didn't put the negative there. Okay, negative 15. Cosine is your x over your radius, so 8/17. Secant then is going to be 17/8. And cotangent's reciprocal, so it's going to be negative 8/15. Okay? I've typed the answers to go with it. The suggestion, the recommendation I'm giving you guys is do the explicitly, oops, I didn't mean to clear that out, I apologize, yikes, is find your x, your y, and your radius first using this, using your Pythagorean theorem. And you have to use this second piece of information to determine who is negative, who is positive. Okay, I know I left this for you guys. Cotangent is your x over your y. It's negative 3. If it helps you, put it negative 3 over 1. X is positive, is what that says. So this negative really is showing up on the bottom. Okay, So hopefully that'll help you out through doing this. But if you explicitly find these pieces of information first, then worry about these, it'll go much smoother.